Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarak to all my brothers, Yahweh Shemal Hashem, Yahweh Shad, all my sisters. This is the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commandant General Yohana. And what we do is we teach the Black, Hispanic, and Native people that they are the Most High's true and only chosen people. And with that comes a set of responsibilities. That set of responsibilities is called the laws of the Bible. And what that does is teach us how to love each other properly. You know what I'm saying? That is a very important thing. But as of right now, I'm gonna ask y'all if y'all in the chat on YouTube or Facebook. Type 1 if you can hear me clearly. If you in the chat on YouTube and Facebook, just type a 1 real quick so I know how the sound's coming, because I'm trying out some new things right now. Let me know if you can hear me if you're on the Facebook or YouTube. Let me know if you can hear me by typing in 1. Can't hear me clearly? Type in 1. Type in 1 if you can hear me clearly. All right. Well, I'm going to continue with it. What's going on TikTok? How everybody doing over there on TikTok? Today we're going to be talking about the LGO. The water, Jesse. The water for letting me know that you can hear me clearly. Great. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the LGBTQ community and their agenda and the pressure that they are putting on society. Now, a situation happened not too long ago in Boston. We're going to get into it, where there was a protest by the Children's Hospital where tensions were high. It almost broke out in rumbles and fights. Tension was high because the LGBTQ community of the transgender community wasn't appreciating the hospital's so-called gender affirming policies. And we're going to get into it a bit. We're going to talk about it. If you have any questions on or off topic, type them on in whenever you do. Whenever it pops in your head, just type in your question. That's what a priest is here for, to answer your questions on or off topic. You know what I'm saying? But as we talk about this, let's get into it. I want to start off with the article itself. I'm going to share it on screen. This article will be on screen on the YouTube and the Facebook. On TikTok, if you want to see the article yourself, you got to go on ISUPK Boston on YouTube, or my personal page, Ricard Aria, on Facebook. All right, this is the article right here, and it's titled, "Tensions High During Demonstration Outside of Boston's Children's Hospital." Right? This is a video of the demonstration. I might play it for a second. It's only a minute long.
Don't trust your sleep to just anyone. At Bernie and Phil's, we want to help you find a better night's sleep, and our expertly trained sleep specialists help you choose from.
A group of people protesting Boston Children's transgender health program were met by dozens of counter-protesters outside the hospital today. Take a look at this video. In the video, you can see some intense moments between those counter-protesters and police. You get a group in the middle of the street at times. Officers, some in riot gear, can be seen trying to get the group to move. The counter-protesters can be heard chanting in support of trans youth. We know the protest was organized by a Canadian man opposed to gender-affirming care. Boston Children's Hospital has been the recent target of threats over the hospital's transgender health program. A Westfield woman was arrested just last week after investigators say she called a fake bomb threat into the hospital. Now, Boston police say they were out here as a security detail, saying the protest was a planned event, but are not commenting further. Live outside the hospital, Emily Maha, WCVB News Center 5.
Now let's go into the article. Two groups of demonstrators had a hostile face-off outside Boston Children's Hospital on Sunday, as the facility has received a number of threats. Who is threatening the facility? Who is threatening a children's hospital? Over the last month, due to its transgender health services, they are receiving threats over their transgender health services, which is for children, right? Who is giving a hospital threats, and what usually happens when you threaten a hospital? When you are angry and you know what I'm saying, something happens and you say, I'm going to blow this hospital up, what happens to you? You go to jail. So who is threatening this hospital over transgender health services? I'm going to let y'all question that on your own. But let's continue. A group of people protesting the hospital's transgender health program were met with dozens of counter-protesters along Longwood Avenue. Video shows tense moments between counter-protesters and Boston police officers. See, you notice how they said that, like as if there wasn't tension on both sides. But it's the counter-protesters that's the problem with the Boston police officers. They're saying those who don't agree with this protest against this hospitals, those who agree with the hospital's program for transgender health services, they're the ones that are the problem for Boston police. But let's continue. Multiple officers, some of them in riot gear, were seen trying to get a group of counter-protesters who had gathered in the middle of the street to move. So these counter-protesters were literally in the middle of Longwood. If you know Longwood, you know what I'm saying? Longwood is a very busy street. There's like 3 hospitals. MIT is like right there. It's a very busy street and it's very narrow. I think it's only like 4 lanes. And it's very busy. It gets very busy on that street. So these counter protesters were in the middle of the street and the police were just trying to get them to move. News Center 5 has learned Sunday's protest of the Boston Children's Hospital program was organized by Billboard Chris, a Canadian anti-LGBTQ activist who is opposed to gender-affirming care. He opposes gender-affirming care. Now let's understand what gender-affirming care is real quick before we continue. What is gender-affirming care? No. Now peep this. Peep this artwork right here. Everything you need to know about gender-affirming care. And who's on the artwork? 3 different skin tones of black people with the transgender flag on the side. But there's no agenda going on. No agenda at all. You know what I'm saying? No agenda. But gender-affirming care refers to a combination of social, legal, and medical measures that help people feel happy, healthy, and safe in their gender. I know when you got a sane mind, that may sound confusing. But let's get into their way of thinking real quick. If you're born a man as God has intended, because that's what God wanted you to be, because that's what you always been, a man. But you're not happy with being a man. You're upset about it. So gender affirming care is when they make society social, make you socially happy, make you socially acceptable, legally acceptable. That means they bring in laws into your way of thinking. So society got to think like you, and the law got to be beneficial for you. And medical measures, that means the medical treatment that you have will help you become happy with the fact that you are delusional with your acceptance of being born a man. They will make you happy in your mind state of being that you want to be a female, that you are effeminate. So they will appease to you. You know what I'm saying? GAC takes a holistic approach. So gender affirming care takes a holistic approach to making sure a person's mental and physical needs surrounding their gender identity and expressions are met. So holistic. Let's look up that word holistic real quick, because that don't sound like it matches. Let's look up the word holistic. And like always, I personally only trust the Merriam. So let's get with the Merriam. Hold on, it's not even giving me the option to switch over. Hold on. Let's get with the Merriam. Let me get this popping. Bang, bang. Share. Holistic. Adjective. Definition 1. Of or relating to holism. What is holism? Let's see. A theory that the universe, or especially living nature, is correctly seen in terms of interacting whole, as of living organisms that are more than the mere elemental particles. A study of method of treatment that is concerned with wholes, or with a holistic study method of treatment. So that sounds like more the definition. It's trying to it's everything as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Understanding of everything as a whole, which is not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So let's get with let's go back to that article I was reading so we get a better understanding, or now that we understand what holistic is, we get a better understanding of what they're talking about, or what gender affirming care is. All right, so we're going back to that section, you know what I'm saying? All right. Where was I at? Okay. GAC takes a holistic approach. That means taking everything in as one, to making such a person's mental and physical needs surrounding their gender identity and expressions are met. So if you're taking everything in as one, right? This is why I don't think holistic should be the word used here. If you're taking everything in as one, as nature has intended, that means you would take in the fact that they were born the gender that they were assigned by God. God told you if you were a man or a woman by the reproductive organ he has given you. If he's giving you a rod, that means you are a man. If he's giving you a vagina, that means you are a woman. You know what I'm saying? So that's not taken into consideration. What's taken into consideration is what you want to be, what you think you are. And that's the holistic approach that they assume is being taken. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. GAC is for anyone who needs it. It involves a wide range of health care approach that differs depending on your individual needs. However, GAC continues to be a source of stigmatization and stress for many transgender people. Healthline aims to dispel misinformation surrounding GAC, showcase its complexity, and explain why it is so vitally important. Basically, we get the idea. We get what they're talking about, right? We understand what they are talking about. So let's get back to the news article. We understand what they're saying. But let's go to the news article where it's talking about the protests about Boston's Children's Hospital gender affirming care. Now remember, this is a children's hospital. This ain't a real hospital. This ain't adults who think they may be women and want some affirmation towards it. They want people to confirm that they're a woman even though they got a penis. They don't want this is not adults. This is children. We're going to get into it. But well, where did I leave off? The Boston Police Department informed News Center 5 that there was a security detail outside the hospital for Sunday's protest, which was a planned event. Police did not comment further on the event that took place. So the police informed the news that there's a security. They had some details planned for the transgenders that were protesting the hospital's gender affirming care. In August, Boston Children's Hospital revealed that doctors and other staffers were receiving threats of violence over the hospital's surgical program for transgender youth. So there's people that's threatening hospital personnel. Which side are they on? I don't know. But there's people threatening the hospital on their program to surgically transform children, to cut off a child's rod and turn it into a vagina, or to take a child's vagina and turn it into a rod. That is what they literally are protesting, and they're getting threats from I don't know which side about that. Now, we know that the hospital is not doing that. That's why they are protesting. So I would say it's safe to assume that the people that are threatening the hospital and its staff is the LGBTQ community, mainly the transgender community, about the hospital not cutting off rods and sewing up vaginas. It's safe to say that it's the LGBTQ community doing that, because if it was on the other side, they would have no reason to threaten the hospital because the hospital's already doing what they believe in. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Boston Children's is a home to the first pediatric and adolescents transgender health program. The state of Massachusetts is very pro LGBTQ. So it figures that this would be the first hospital in the country to have health programs for pediatric and adolescent transgender, which is crazy to me, because how can a pediatric or adolescent who don't even have the right to drink, who don't have the discipline to you know what I'm saying, to do a whole lot of other things, but have the mind state to choose their gender? That's crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy. They don't even have the mind state to do anything else, but they can pick their gender. They can't even go to bed on time. They can't even go to bed on time. They're losing all types of school equipment. They're not responsible enough to do a whole bunch of things, but they are responsible enough to choose their gender and to choose if they want gender reassignment. They're responsible enough for that. That's crazy. If you're responsible to choose your gender, then you might as well be responsible enough to drink. If you could choose your gender, you should be able to choose to drink. If you could choose your gender, you should be able to choose. For one, it's illegal to have sex with adolescents and pediatrics. So if you are responsible enough to choose which gender you're assigned, you should be responsible enough to choose who you have sex with. Now, mind you, I ain't saying that they are. In fact, I'm saying that they're not responsible enough for that. I'm saying that they are absolutely not responsible enough to share that. You know what I'm saying? To do such things. They're not built for that. You know what I'm saying? Not at all. But let's continue. It became the focus of far-right social media accounts, news outlets, and bloggers after they found informational videos published by the hospital about surgical offerings for transgender patients. The hospital removed the videos and began working with law enforcement. The critics cited the videos and snippets of previous language on the hospital's website to claim that Boston Children's Hospital was improperly performing gender-affirming surgeries. They were improperly performing gender. That means they were doing it wrong. They were improperly performing these surgeries to children, such as hysterectomies. Hysterectomies is when you remove reproductive organs. Why are you removing reproductive organs from children? That is madness. Madness. On minors and young children. The response was swift and relentless, with a barrage of users demanding the hospital be shut down and calling the surgeries mutilation, barbarism, and child abuse, which it is. It literally is. Like I tell people all the time, you're not a trans woman, you're not a trans man, you're just a mutilated person. You're mutilated. A man cutting off his rod is not a trans woman. He's just a mutilated man. It's mutilation, barbarism, and child abuse, while accusing his doctors of engaging in malpractice or illegal activity. Like this transgender stuff, you know what I'm saying, is a mental issue. It's a mental disease. It's a mental illness. And to force a child to take a stand on it by removing its reproductive organs takes away the child's choice to get his mind right, to straighten up, and to change his mind. You're taking that away from the child. You're removing that from the child. That's what the protest is about. Hysterectomy should not be performed on children, period. Period. That's something that usually happens to adults who are in a life-threatening situation. Like women who have high-risk pregnancies might have got lucky a couple of times, but the third time is like, yo, this is getting higher and higher. Your risk of dying after every childbirth is getting higher and higher. So she has the option to have a hysterectomy, which is the removal of all reproductive organs. Her ovaries are taken out. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. The hospital said it has received a large volume of hostile online messages, phone calls, harassing emails, including threats of violence. The hospital subsequently updated language across its website to emphasize that to qualify for most gender-affirming surgical procedures, patients must be at least 18 and meet certain criteria, which is only responsible. It's a responsible thing to do. It's responsible for Boston Children's Hospital to put that up there. You got to be at least 18. That means you're legally an adult, and you got to fit certain criteria. And I'm pretty sure that criteria might be a mental and evaluation, and you know what I'm saying? Maybe you probably got to have kids already or something like that. And meet certain criteria, including ongoing intensive medical and mental health evaluations and submitting letters of support. You hear that? You got to have medical evaluation because a hysterectomy is a dangerous procedure. It's dangerous. And you got to be medically able to have it. And then you got to be mentally, because you might change your mind. You got to be mentally capable of going through such a grotesque procedure. You know what I'm saying? And submitting letters of support. That means you got to have people that support you on top of that, because you're going to be going through more mental illnesses. You know what I'm saying? So I think the hospital is only being responsible, including ongoing. Oh, yeah, I already read that. U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins said 37-year-old Catherine Levy of Westfield, Massachusetts, was arrested Thursday in connection with the anonymous bomb threat on August 30th that drew a heavy police presence and forced the closure of area roads. So this Catherine Levy threatened the hospital with a bomb, and she got arrested. Court records indicate the caller told the hospital operator, "There is a bomb on the way to the hospital. You better evacuate everybody, you sickos." So she considered the hospital sickos for its stance on the child should be at least 18. She called the hospital sickos because the child, the hospital wants to make sure that the child is medically and mentally stable enough to even have the procedure. The hospital sickos for that, not her. She says if the child wants it, let her have it. Let him have it. Let the child have it no matter what. To me, she's the sicko. You know what I'm saying? Rollins and investigators identified a cell phone account owned by Levy that was used to make the threat after an investigation. No bomb found. See, look, these are the type of same people, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I'm saying, these are the same people that are pro-transgender but don't have the common sense to make a bomb threat on a ghost phone. You know what I'm saying? They don't even got the common sense to do that. So now I don't know. Catherine's in jail. You know what I'm saying? So these are the same people that support transgender, you know what I'm saying, affirmation care. You know what I'm saying? Rollins said investigators used the threat. After an investigation, no bomb was found. Levy was released on personal recognizance with conditions. She wears a GPS monitoring device, stays away from and has no contact with Boston Children's Hospital, which should be easy because Westfield is in Western Mass, attend mental health treatment, and cannot use drugs or alcohol and cannot have guns. So that sounds pretty light. She must be a Caucasian. Because if I did that, I'll be going to jail. No, can't pass go, nothing. I won't be able to do none of that. But whatever this is that threatened the hospital with a bomb because a child can have transgender affirming care is obviously a sickle. You know what I'm saying? Boston Children's Hospital was also target of a bomb threat on September 9th, which led to an increased police presence and extra precautions at the facility. The criminal charge announced Thursday was not related to the most recent threat, Rollins said. So many people are threatened in this hospital. You know what I'm saying? Many people are going against this hospital just because a child can't, if you're under 18, you cannot have your rod removed and turned into a vagina. You can't have a vagina turned into a rod. And they think it's wrong. So they threaten the hospital. And that's a very disgusting thing. But let's get into what the Most High says. Let's get into that. Let's get into, I believe it's Deuteronomy 28 and yeah, let's go with Deuteronomy 28 and 28. I'm going to type this in the chat. Deuteronomy 28 and 28. All right, if you did, read along with me. If not, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have a conversation about it. We're going to talk about it. Just listen to as I read. You know what I'm saying? If you have any questions, type them on in. You know what I'm saying? But let's get with it. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 28. The Lord shall smite thee with madness. What's madness? Madness is the illness of mind. And you got to have an illness of mind to be born a man. You literally got a rod between your legs and think you're a woman. You got to be mad to have a vagina between your legs and think you're a man. That is literally madness. It's literally, utterly madness to think such a way. And as a people, we are smitten with madness. There's all types of madness that we are smitten of, but this is the madness we are talking about today. Transgender is a form of madness. Actually, the LGBT community, period, is a form of madness. It's literally insane. It's literally insane to think in such a way. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Bible just saying that Black, Hispanics, and Natives are smitten with madness. But let's continue. And blindness and astonishment of heart and blindness. Why are we blind? Because we can't see things for what they are. You got a rod between your legs and you still can't see it for what it is. You are a man. You literally got a rod between your legs and you really think you're a woman. Like D Wade's son, what's his name? Zion. Zion is literally a man, but he got a rod between his legs and he can't see how he's a man. He don't understand how he's a man. He believes he's a woman in a man's body. Like, stop it. That's insanity. That's insanity. He is literally a man and he thinks that he's a woman. So he's madness and he can't even see for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue. Let's continue. And astonishment of heart. Like, we are astonished deep in our hearts that what we are going through is actually happening. It's amazing. You can't believe. Woe is me. I'm a man trapped in a woman's body. Why do I have a vagina? I need a rod. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because it's literally like, how you having sex with another woman? You got this rod, this plastic rod and you giving it to the woman, and you're moaning. Like, you literally don't feel nothing. What are you feeling? Why are you moaning? That's madness. You're moaning and you literally don't feel nothing. Literally don't feel nothing. Shout out to Arsenal. You know what I'm saying? If you went to battle rap, you understand that bar that Arsenal told to QB the Black Diamond. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal was battling this female rapper that's a lesbian, and told her straight up, you would never understand that stick in the tip feel. You know, it's something only a man can understand. But they strap on and really pretend like they actually feel that stick in the tip feel. And they don't. You know what I'm saying? And they absolutely don't. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Verse 29. If you with me, read along. Verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness. Like, they are reaching. The LGBTQ, especially the transgender community, is reaching. They are reaching. You know what I'm saying? They are reaching for something that they will never obtain. They are reaching in broad daylight like the blind reach in dark. And they will never be able to reach it. Never. They will never be able to reach such a plateau. You will never become a woman, no matter what you cut off. You'll just literally become a mutilated man. You know what I'm saying? They like to say there's a difference between gender and sex. No, there isn't. There isn't. There isn't. There's no difference between gender and sex. Gender is literally the same as your sex. If you're a male forever. That's what your chromosomes dictate, and there's no amount of surgery that could change up your chromosomes. You're born with an XX, guess what? You will never be an XY. Never. Never be an XY. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. It's just that simple. But let's continue. And thou shalt not prosper in thy ways. Like, you're not going to succeed in your little sinful way of thinking. Your sinful way of thinking is not going to help you. You will not prosper in your way. You want to be a woman so bad, guess what? You will not be a woman. You will not be a woman. You want to be a man so bad, sis, you will never be a man. You can never be a man. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that you may think that you may be, but you're not. There's no way that you could possibly be. There's no way that you could possibly be. And no matter what type of man. And it's crazy because this is how I know it's madness. What's that dude's name? The Jenner guy. I forgot his name. The Jenner guy. You know what I'm saying? What's his name? I forgot. The Jenner guy. He used to be an athlete and all that. He changed his sex, became Woman of the Year and all that other madness. Guess what? This is how I know it's madness. You are still a man. Because guess what you date? He still dates women. He did date a man one time, but he mostly still dates women. That's how I know this is madness. There's a lot of transgenders out there that are born men that will still date women. Like, they going into jails, having sex with female inmates and female COs and getting them pregnant. That's how I know it's madness. And that's how I know it's of your own lust. It's of the person's own lust. And I never heard of a trans man wanting to go to a male jail. Know why? Because that trans man knows he's a woman and he will not survive in a man's jail. But you always hear of trans women wanting to go to a women's jail. It's a mental illness. It's a mental illness. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore, and no man shall save thee, man. You're going to go through what you're going to go through. That's what we need to understand. Oh, wow. Wow. They reported my live, man. Well, I'm off the TikTok. I'm going to go to my personal page on TikTok and continue this. Yep, they got rid of me on the TikTok, but I'm going on my personal page on TikTok now. The work don't stop. The work don't stop. But let's finish this off real quick. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 29. And thou shalt grope at noonday, as the blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, man. You're reaching, and the things you're reaching for, you're not going to obtain. It's impossible for a man to become a woman, and it's impossible for a woman to become a man. So stop reaching. You know what I'm saying? And thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled evermore. You know what I'm saying? Even in your lust, you're going to be oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to go through things regardless. Even in your disgusting, filthy lust, you're going to have to go through things. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be people against you, oppressing you no matter what. You feel oppressed if you're not getting the gender affirming. And guess what? You're going to get it. You're going to get your rod cut off. You can get your vagina sewed up. And guess what? You're still going to be oppressed. You're still going to be destroyed. Nothing's going to really change for you. You know what I'm saying? And no man shall save you. And nothing's going to help you. Nobody's going to be a solution to your real problem. Your deep problem deep inside is that you can't have your way. You know what I'm saying? You are literally born a man. You're going to die a man, no matter what you do to your body. Question is, are you going to die a man in whole, as one whole, holistic, or you're going to die as a mutilated man? Because that's all you're going to be. You're just going to be a mutilated man. Because that's all gender affirming surgery is. It's mutilation. You know what I'm saying? What you should have done is talk to whoever molested you, whoever did whatever crime and abused you in whatever way they did, and work that out. And maybe you wouldn't be thinking that you are who you are. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get Leviticus 20 and 13. Let's get some meat and potatoes. Let's get some meat and potatoes. Actually, this is still pretty much milk. This ain't even meat and potatoes. I'm calling it meat and potatoes because it hits you straight to the gut. is straightforward. You know what I'm saying? So let's get with it. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. Like, how may I put this? First off, let's get the notion of this mankind actually means boys. No, it doesn't. If you know how to read Hebrew and you read that in Hebrew, it actually still means man. It's a man. It's not a boy. It's not, this scripture ain't about pedophilia like a lot of these LGBTQ community likes to say it does. But even if it does, the majority of the LGBTQ community are pedophiles. All of them. Every last one of them. They are pedophiles. How do you think they are able to have the numbers they are? They don't have it. They can't give birth. They're not having children. So how do they do it? They recruit. How do they recruit? By destroying another child, the same way that they were destroyed. The same way they were recruited in is the same way they're going to recruit. And that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? That is literally what they do. M. Lopez asks, am I Jewish? No, I am not Jewish. The word ish, the suffix ish, implicates that it's sort of, kind of, but not really. I'm not sort of, kind of, not really a Jew. I'm actually a Jew. I'm actually a Judite, which is what the word Jew comes from. It is a short term for the word Judite. I'm literally a Judite. I'm from the tribe of Judah out of the nation of Israel. I understand that you got these people from the synagogue of Satan on the other side of the world claiming that they're Israelites, but they would tell you that they're Khazars. They would tell you that they're Ashkenaz. And when you go in the Bible and you look up the word Khazar and Ashkenaz, neither one of them are Israel. Neither one of them. Ashkenaz is literally a biblical word for a nation of Edomites. Khazars is literally a biblical word for a nation that are Edomites. They're not Israelites. So how can you be an Edomite Israelite when Israel and Esau been at war since birth? No, before birth. They've been at war since the womb. Can't be both. Can't be both. But I digress. But hopefully that answered your question. You know what I'm saying? But may I continue? Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lies with a woman. Look, if a man does the things he does with a woman, and he does that to a man, like what are the things a man does with a woman? Ask yourself that. What does a man do with a woman? Holds her hand, walking down the park. You do that with a man, yeah, you fit this description. Kiss your woman lip to lip. If you do that with a man, you know what I'm saying? You tonguing down your woman and you tongue down another man, you fit this description. If you're in the bedroom laying next to your woman, stroking her down, putting chills down her spine, and you decide to do that with a man, no matter what hole you go in with your woman, if you do that with a man, you are a homosexual. You fit this scripture right here. You know what I'm saying? So if a man lies down with a man, with a man, let's read it. If a man also lie with mankind as he lied with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. Both those men are an abomination. Now, what's an abomination? Should we look up the word abomination real quick? Let's look that up. Let's look that up so we can understand how God sees those. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let me share this screen with y'all so y'all can read along with me. Abomination. Something regarded with disgust or hatred. Something of extreme disgust and hatred, loathing. That's what you are when you commit such acts. When a man lies with a man as he lies with a woman, he is to be regarded with disgust and hatred. He is an abomination. He's a disgusting person. You know what I'm saying? It's absolutely disgusting for a man to be lying down with another man. It's absolutely disgusting for a woman to be lying down with another woman. That's an abomination. You know what I'm saying? And it's very effeminate to think in such a manner too. It's very effeminate to think in such a way because that's not the way God made you. So if God made you, son, that means you think you're better than God because you think God messed up. You think God put you in the wrong body, like God just fumbled the ball, like God just tripped and put your spirit in, like, oops, like, nah. Yeah, they're exactly right, Black Wolf. They calling God a lie. And God is not a lie. Well, trial and I'm a Jew that up. But you're absolutely right. He's calling God a lie by saying that I'm a woman in a man's body. The Most High is not the author of confusion. And that is literally a form of confusion right there. You know what I'm saying? Literally a form of confusion. But let's finish this off. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Like, it doesn't say we should kill them. It doesn't say put your hands on them. It says they shall surely be put to death. Death is around the corner for them. It's a guarantee. That's why you got things that's like AIDS. AIDS is a bloodborne disease. You know what I'm saying? And their blood should be surely upon them. You know what I'm saying? AIDS is widely spread amongst the homosexual community. The LGBTQ community is filled with AIDS. But not just that. What's the new thing that's going on right now? You got monkeypox. Monkeypox is literally, you know what I'm saying? Monkeypox is literally the modern day equivalent to AIDS. I mean, nobody's really dying from it like that, but it's really showing your sin. It's showing your sin. It's like you get it around the mouth. We know that you put your mouth around something that had monkeypox. A lot of people, men, children tell you got monkeypox. You know what I'm saying? It's literally about 95%, last I read, of monkeypox cases are those who are in the LGBTQ community. 95%. That means due to bisexuality, other people have caught it. Other people have caught it. That's mean you got to vet people out. When you are dealing with a woman, man, holler at her for at least a good 6 months before you decide to stroke her down. Because the simple fact is, man, you never know. You might end up catching monkeypox from a lesbian who is putting her mouth in another in a monkey-filled box. You know what I'm saying? The monkeypox box. And now you kissing her. Now you got monkeypox around your mouth. It is just a chain of confusion and hell. You know what I'm saying? Chain of just nastiness. You know what I'm saying? It's just nasty. That statistic made from religion. No, it's made from doctors. Now you're just making things up. It's literally made from doctors. CDC. The CDC reported that. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. The CDC reported that. But you want to say it's made from religious people. I hear you. I hear you. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get Mark 7 and 20. We go to the New Testament, since a lot of people like to, talk about the New Testament. Nobody likes to talk about the Old Testament. The Old Testament is done away with, and bless y'all Christian hearts for thinking that. But the Old Testament isn't done away with. The Old Testament still stands today. You know what I'm saying? The Old Testament still stands today. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about it. Mark chapter 7, verse 20. Read along with me if you're there. And he said, that which cometh out of the man that defileth him. For from within, out of the heart of man, proceedeth evil thoughts. It's like, this is what comes out of a man that defiles a man. It's his way of thinking. Those evil thoughts that he has. You know what I'm saying? And what are some of these thoughts that make a man evil? What are some of these thoughts that make a man just out of his mind? Let's talk about it. Adulteries, fornications, and murders. What's adulteries? Adulteries is when a man desires to have sex with another man's woman, like all these rappers are talking about, or when a woman decides to have sex with another man that's not her man. That's what adultery is. Fornication is literally any form of unlawful sex. Bestiality is a form of fornication. Adultery is a form of fornication. Pedophilia is a form of fornication. Homosexuality is a form of fornication. Those are fornications. So many more. Incest is a form of fornication. You know what I'm saying? These things are forms of fornication. And with these forms of fornication, that way of thinking those lusts and desires is what's defiling you. But let's continue. Murderers, theft, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness. What's lasciviousness? Should we go? Yeah, let's look that up. I ain't going to want to tell you the definition. I'm going to look it up and show you the definition. You know what I'm saying? The root word of lasciviousness is lascivious. All right. Let's hit the screen real quick. Because this is important. Lascivious, an adjective, filled with or showing sexual desire, lewd, lustful. So lasciviousness is the act of showing extreme lustful desire. Those are the people that just all they think about is sex, 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 sex. And that is largely in the LGBTQ community. They like to pretend, it's about love, it's not about sex, it's about sex. Let's not be fooled, it's fully about sex. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They even got him in some sickness forms here. You know what I'm saying? Lasciviousness. Here we go. He satirized and contrived unions favored by upper society, exposing the greed, corruption, and lasciviousness with which they were permeated. So lasciviousness is showing of extreme sexual desire. You guess that's all you think about is sex, 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 sex. And that's what pollutes your mind. That is what destroys you mentally. Let's read that from the top again. I'm going to start back with verse 20. Mark chapter 7, verse 20. And he said, that which cometh out of the man that defileth him, from far from within, like this is what's deep in your heart. Out of the heart of men proceed evil thoughts, such as adultery, fornication, murders, theft, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lasciviousness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. Oh, pride. Don't the LGBTQ have a whole month. I could swear they got like 3 different months. I swear. Something about LGBTQ is coming up real soon. I think in October or November or something. They have something in February and something in June. I swear it feels like those 3 months is for them. But I may be bugging. Not quite sure. I may be losing it a bit. But these 3 things, I mean, those things will pollute your mind. And pride is one of them. So their pride in their heart about being, homosexual is defiling them. It defiles the man. That's their lust. It's their lust. You know what I'm saying? All these evil things come from within and defile the man. So that would really, truly defile you. That's what really and truly defiles you. It's your own lust and desires. And it's fair to say that the LGBTQ is a defiled community. It's defiled as can be. You know what I'm saying? But let's drop that. Let's get another one. Let's get Romans. Let's stay in the New Testament. Press 1 on YouTube if you hear me. I messed up right there. That was on me. We're going to go to Romans 1 and 24. All right, thank you. Romans 1 and 24. Let's go there. Let me see if there's any questions on the TikTok. Any questions on the TikTok? That he that is without sin cast the first stone. It's funny you asked that. You know what I'm saying? This new me, this new person I am, is without sin. But you don't fully understand that scripture. I am not casting no stone. I'm just telling the law. So if telling the law is casting a stone, then you obviously have lust that is within you that needs to be dealt with. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? But let's get with it. Where's that? Romans 1 and 23. No, 20. No, 24. Romans chapter 1, verse 24. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts. Like the Most High will give you up to your own cleanness and your own desires and your own lust, which is those things that defile you. The Most High will give you up to that. It's like a parent. You know what I'm saying? It's like you keep on wanting to be around that grill fire. You know what I'm saying? As little kids, we like to be around the fire. We like to do some stupid thing sometimes. And your parent keeps on telling you, don't move away, stop, don't touch. Sooner or later, your parents are going to stop telling you not to do it. And you're going to have to see for yourself the error of your own way. You're hard-headed. You're going to have to learn the hard way. So your parent ain't even going to stop you from touching it. And you're going to burn yourself. And you're going to be crying and moaning, and you're going to have to learn the hard way that you should have listened to your parent in the first place. And that's what God is doing here when he gives you up to your own lust and desires. You think that you're born a man. You want to be born a man. You want to be, sis, you're not a man. You think you're a woman. You want to be born a woman. Bro, you're not a woman. But your lust and desires, once you do that so bad, go through it. Go ahead, go do it. And then 10 years after your surgery, when you're depressed and sad and lonely and suicidal, you're going to learn that the Most High gave you up to your own lust. A lot of these people who have these reassignment surgeries end up in a worse mental condition than they were originally. They don't put those statistics out there. You got to search for those statistics. The people who get gender reassignment surgery later end up regretting it. They do. They do. It brings upon a few health problems, so forth and so on. But the Most High will give you up to your own lust. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. To dishonor their own bodies between themselves. It's a dishonor. When a woman is putting her face in between another woman's legs, she's dishonoring her own body. Both of them. Both of them. When you're allowing another woman's head to get between your legs, you're dishonoring your own body. It's a dishonor. That's not what your body was meant to do. When a man is putting his rod in another man's behind, they both dishonoring their body, because your rod don't belong there, and no rod belongs in your backside. You're dishonoring your own body between yourselves. Y'all both doing it. It's an abomination according to God. These are God's words, not mine. So don't be mad at me. Be mad at the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Who changed the truth of God into a lie? The truth of God is that you was born a man. You got a rod between your legs. You got a certain set of chromosomes. You were born a man. Who told you that you're a woman? Who okayed that you're a woman? Truth of God is that a man is supposed to be with a woman. Who told you that it was okay for a man to be with a man and a woman to be with a woman? Who told you that? Who said it's okay? Who turned the truth of God into a lie? Who made it acceptable for your lusts and desires to do what they do? And all of us that are telling you God's laws are looked at as we're the strange ones, we're the weirdos, we're the crazy people, by telling you that what God says is the truth. God said a man is supposed to be with a woman and multiply. That's what God said. These ain't our words, these ain't our feelings. You know what I'm saying? But y'all in your own lusts and desires want to go against it. So y'all are changing God's truth into a lie. Not only that, this world and society, which is ran by our oppressors, which is ran by our enemies, y'all rather listen to him than listen to God. Y'all rather listen to our enemy than listen to God. But let's continue. And worshiped and served the creature more than the creator. You are worshiping and serving the creature more than the creator. Who is this creature that you are worshiping? Who is this creature that you are celebrating? Israeli Jew. Ugh. Anybody with no picture in their profile, I'm making it a rule now. If you ain't got a picture in your profile, I'm not answering the question. Period. Because I'm pretty sure you're a troll. But like I was saying, who is the creature that says it's okay for you to think that you are not what you were born? Who okayed that? Let me tell you, okay, that our oppressor. You rather serve the creature more than the creator. Our oppressor is the creature. You rather serve that person that you lust for. You know what I'm saying? You rather serve that person that you desire more than the Most High. Matter of fact, let's go a little more eternally. You rather serve yourself. You rather please yourself more than please the Most High by following his rules, by following his law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I'm saying? That's what you rather do. Oh, he's saying I got banned, which is, yeah, they do take away your profile picture when you get banned. But am I Jewish? No, I'm not Jewish. I'm an Israelite. Jewish, the suffix ish means that you are literally, sort of, kind of, but not really a Jew. I am really a Jew. I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Just that simple. Exactly, for a corner. They'd rather worship wood and stone, you know what I'm saying? And not just wood and stone, but also their flesh. They'd rather serve their flesh than serve the powers of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue with it. And worship and serve the creature more than the Creator, who was blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affection. God gave them up to vile affection. There is affections that's not vile. You know what I'm saying? When a brother daps up a brother, pounds him up, gives him a hug, that's not a vile affection. But it's a vile affection when a man lets another man put his rod in his mouth. Like, that's a vile affection. Check it out, Angelica. This is not that type of situation right now. This is a class setting. I will be on tonight, possibly about 12. We could go about midnight Eastern Standard. We could, make this a little, conversation. But right now, this is the class. If you got a question, you can type it in. But as the scripture says, you know what I'm saying? God gave them up to vile affections. You know what I'm saying? You wanted to do this as a man. You wanted to kiss another man mouth to mouth and tongue him down. That's a vile affection. God gave you up to it. You know what I'm saying? But let's go further. For even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature. Now, even our women change their natural use to against that which is against nature. What is their natural use? What is a woman's natural use? What is a woman's natural use? How can I benefit from a woman naturally? I'll let y'all type it in. How can I? Y'all want to pretend like y'all don't know? Let me tell you. For you to use a woman naturally is to have sex with her and reproduce with her. Because a natural product is formed from your actions, which is a child. You did something natural, and a natural product results from it. You know what I'm saying? A woman sleeping with another woman is not a natural use. Women are using their bodies for something that's not natural. It's not what it was meant to be used for. And brothers are doing the same, but let's continue. See, a lot of people like to think lesbianism is not in the scriptures. That's it right there. That's it right there. Let's read that back from the top. Romans chapter 1, verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affection, for even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature. Women on women sex is against nature. Two sockets can't produce any type of current of energy. You put another socket against a socket, no electric current will flow. But if you put a plug inside a socket, naturally electric current will flow. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Verse 27, and likewise, also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, like men no longer, enjoying the pleasures of a woman. They leaving the natural use of a woman. They have no use for a woman. You see in the LGBTQ community the anger these homosexual men have against black women. These black homosexual men got a lot of anger against black women. They are very physically abusive to black women. They are very verbally abusive to black women, and it's disgusting. They left the natural use of women. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Burned in their lust one toward another, like these men, these black men are burning in their lust one towards another. They looking at each other, turning away from the natural use of a woman. You don't want to have sex with the woman, so you start looking at another man, and you start wanting to, you know what I'm saying, plug that man. And it's disgusting. It's not natural. It's not what God intended you to do with your body. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Men, working that which is unseemly. It doesn't even seem right. Like when you even think about it, just think about it. You putting your rod in a man's backside. Does that seem right to you? Does that seem like it's hard to even speak on? It's hard to even talk about because that's not the way it's supposed to be. It's not the way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But hold on, I see we might got some questions on this. Okay, let's see. Which of the 12 tribes do you originate? I originate from Judah. I'm a Judite, same as Christ. Same tribe as Christ. I always wanted blah 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 blah. Two people beefing. All right, y'all talk amongst each other. Maybe a softball question. Yeah, blah blah blah. Oh, you think because I didn't see it that I didn't have an answer. Judea is a kingdom. Yes, Judea is a kingdom. But Judah is a tribe. Can you name the 12 tribes of Israel? Yes, I can. Why are you asking a silly question? Baptism is required to be saved. That's true, but it depends what you think baptism is. There's the baptism of John and the baptism of Christ. There's only one baptism. So which baptism is required to be saved? That's the question. But y'all digressing from the, hold on, we got. We got a bunch of questions over here. We got some weirdo with some weird name I'm not going to read that's on YouTube who has a bunch of questions. What about Revelations 8 and Revelations 9 and 9? Okay, hold on. Am I finished with this one yet? Give me a sec. I'm going to get into that. I'm almost finished with this. Working which is unseemly and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which was meat. So they're going to receive the punishment which is justified for what they do. So when they end up catching monkeypox, it's justified. When they end up catching AIDS, it's justified. Whatever happens to them, their recompense is meat. It's justified. It's perfect for them. They're going to catch whatever disease they're going to catch. They're going to catch whatever punishment they're going to catch, whatever abuse they're going to catch, because the LGBTQ community is a very violent community. They abuse each other on a large scale. They're very violent towards each other. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these crimes, when they end up getting murdered for not telling somebody that they were born a certain way, well, then that recompense is meat. Remember, their blood is on their hands. That's what we read in Leviticus 20. Their blood is on their hands. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do the things which are not convenient. Homosexuality is not convenient. Y'all want to do it so bad, Most High is going to give you over to that. Hey, go commit the madness that you are into, and let's see how far that gets you. The Most High is a parent. The Most High is a father. You know what I'm saying? God is straight up and down a father. And when you do such things, you just going, hey, you don't want to listen to me. Go do your thing, and let's see where that gets you. And when you end up going through the hell that you go through, just know it's not God's fault. It's your fault. Because we over here selling you. We over here telling you that it's wrong, but you and your own reprobate mind want to fight it. But let's go to this Revelation 8 real quick. Let's see. He has 2 revelation questions up there. Let's go to Revelations 8. And let's see. I don't know if he is part of the community or not. Sticks and rods and Hebrew Israelites, LGBT. I don't know. It seems like he might be pro-LGBT, he might not. I am not a wired. I am an Israelite. I am an Israelite teacher on YouTube. That's your problem. If you ain't amongst the ISUPK, you're not built for this. But let's go to Revelations 8. The first one he put up was 8 and 9, I think. Hold on, let me scroll up a little more just in case to put something else up there. No, let's go to Revelations 8 and 9. Let's see what it says. And the third part of the creature which were in the sea and had, what they got to do with the subject? Hold on, I know exactly what this is. What they got to do with the subject at hand? That has nothing to do with the subject at hand. I'm going to give you one more try with this 9 and 9. See what that has to do with homosexuality. Nothing. Brother, type in what this has to do with homosexuality, those scriptures you brought up, and maybe I'll further entertain you. As of right now, you're looking kind of, out of your wits right now. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. Let's go back on. Let's drop that. Let's go to Leviticus 18 just said the same thing as Leviticus 20. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23 and 17. Let's go to Deuteronomy 23 and 17. Let me type it up in here. Hold on. But these scriptures deal with it's a LGBTQ Israelite movement in California. And we want to debate that. Oh, man. If you want to debate, man. Oh, man. Yo. If you want to debate that, it won't be on my next live. In fact, I'll give you even a higher platform. Find me on Facebook under Rakar Aria. I'll plug you in. I'll plug you in with Cross the Line Radio. And you can have your debate there because this is hilarious. I'll plug you in with Cross the Line Radio and we can have our debate. Because those three scriptures you posted have nothing to do with the LGBTQ movement. Nothing at all. David had more love for. That's not even the same type of love. That's brotherly, but that's a brotherhood love. That is brotherhood. Oh my goodness, yeah, this is hilarious. But let's continue. Let's go to let's go to Deuteronomy 23 and 17. Let me type that in here. Oh, I already did. Wow. Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. There shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, which is good. That's a good thing. You should not be making our women to be whores. You should not be pimping them out. You should not be smutting them out. You should not be slutting them out. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. Nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. What is a sodomite? A sodomite is a person that followed the ways of Sodom. Which Sodom, when you read, is about homosexuality. There's a lot of homosexual men in Sodom. They were so homosexual that they wanted to sleep with males, men, angels. They approached Lot. When angels came to Lot. And Lot had to protect those angels by giving up his daughters. You know what I'm saying? Lot gave up his daughters. And the men didn't even want the daughters. So they threaten Lot, either you give up those men or we're going to do to you even worse than what we plan on doing to the men. Now, I told you the homosexual community is a violent community, and you can see that in the scriptures, all the way back to Sodom. Now, they wanted to do Lot bad, because Lot was protecting these men, which is our culture. When we have guests in our house, we protect those that are in our house. You know what I'm saying? So once we do that, we got to do what we got to do to protect those men. Now, they never had Lot's daughters, but he was willing to give up his daughters, but they didn't even want the daughters. They wanted the men. They wanted some man booty. You know what I'm saying? And that is sick. You know what I'm saying? That is sick. And there should be no sodomites amongst the men of Israel. There should be no homosexuals amongst the men of Israel. Hold on. Got a question here. Is it gay that Jesus was nailed by a bunch of Roman men? Oh, that's a horrible joke. I don't get it, but you know what I'm saying? These people on TikTok got no coof. They got no discipline. But let's drop that. Let's get Psalms. Let's get Psalms. Where we at in Psalms? I think that's 91 or 81. Let me look first. All right, let's get with it. Psalms 81 and 12. I'll give y'all a second to get there. Psalms chapter 81, verse 12. It's in the Old Testament. All right. If you're there, read along with me. If not, just listen to what I say. Psalms chapter 81, verse 12. So I gave them up unto their own hearts, lust, and they walked in their own counsels. You know what I'm saying? So the Most High, he will give you up to your own lust. He will give you up to your own desires, your own sicknesses, your own perversions. He will do that. You know what I'm saying? And you will walk into your own counsel. You know what I'm saying? There's ways that a man may think in his heart that is right. He may think that is right, but it's really the ways of death. He's really walking in the way. You may think that love is love. Love is love. That sounds so right to so many people. Love is love. And homosexuals live by that cliche. That love is love. But let me tell you something. Love is not love. Not all love is equal. Not all love is the same. And the same people that say love is love in the homosexual community, believe me, there are the same people that would say love is love in the pedophile community. The same people that would say love is love in the bestiality community. The same people that would say love is love in the incestuous community. Love is not always love. It's just that simple. So you are walking in your own lust, you're walking in your own desires, you're walking in your own way of thinking, and you're giving your own self-counsel thinking that love is love. You know what I'm saying? God loves. God is nothing but love. Let me tell you something. God is not all about love. He's about hate too. Remember, he is a man of war. There is things about God that will shock you. Remember, he killed all the firstborn of Israel. All the firstborn of Egypt. He killed all the firstborn of Egypt. Not just the children, But he killed the firstborn rats, the firstborn cows, the firstborn, everything that was firstborn in Egypt was dead. All for Israelites. Also, Israel could get out of that captivity. Where's the love in that? Sodom and Gomorrah and even 5 other cities were burnt down because of the things that they were doing. Where's the love in that? Where's the love in that? You know what I'm saying? All types of, you know what I'm saying, violence went on amongst God. But y'all believe God is all love. God would never say love is love. In fact, according to the Bible, love is following the law, statutes, and commandments. And if you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments, you don't love yourself. And the law, statutes, and commandments dictates that homosexuality is an abomination. It is a sin. Just that simple. It is a sin. But if you want to fight against it, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, do your own thing, well, it says that you will walk in your own counsel. It already said that you're going to do that. It already said that you're going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. And they walked in their own counsel. You know what I'm saying? Let's drop that. Let's get 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. Let's go back to the New Testament since you know what I'm saying? Let's get back to that. 1 Corinthians. Should I start up a little higher? All right. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Just know that the unrighteous is not going to inherit the kingdom of God. What is the kingdom of God? Let me explain. The kingdom of God is Black, Hispanic, and Native ruling this world. It's not something that happens when you die. It's not that heaven that Christianity talks about. The kingdom of God is literally going to be on this earth. That's another class for another day. That's a little meaty. I like to keep it milky for y'all. But it literally says that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God. Some goofball said there's no mention of go on YouTube, ISUPK Boston. I got all the scriptures posted up. You know what I'm saying? I got all the scriptures posted up. But let's continue. Where's I at? Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators. Now, we already explained what a fornicator is. A fornicator is anybody that participates in unlawful sex. In the Bible, there are certain people you can have sex with. You know what I'm saying? Anything outside of that is unlawful. So, pedophilia is unlawful. Incest is unlawful. Bestiality is unlawful. Homosexuality is unlawful. All that is unlawful. So technically, all that is against God, and they are all fornicators, and they will not receive or be able to enter the kingdom of heaven. Now let's continue. Nor idolaters, nor adulterers. If you don't know what an adulterer is very much close to is a fornicator. Adultery is a form of fornication. It's unlawful sex. Adultery is when a woman has sex with a man that is not her husband, and when a man has sex with a woman that belongs to another man, because a man can have multiple wives. So if a man that's married has sex with a single woman, that is lawful. But if he has sex with a married woman, that is unlawful. Right? Nor adulterers, nor effeminate. Now, homosexuality is very effeminate. The LGBTQ is very effeminate. The transgender community is very effeminate. You know what I'm saying? And what's the opposite of effeminate? Is when women are trying to act masculine. So a masculine woman will not enter either. Nor should an effeminate man enter the kingdom either. You know what I'm saying? Nor abusers of themselves with mankind. What's an abuser of themselves? I don't know about y'all, but you cutting off your rod, you making that decision, you are abusing yourself. That is literally mutilation. A man telling another man to stick his rod in his backside is abuse. You are abusing yourself. You know what I'm saying? A man to stick his rod in another man's behind, he is abusing himself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I noticed. Yeah, they do got a Queen James Bible. And that's where a lot of their nonsense comes from. Come from a made-up Bible that appeases their way of life. Yeah, the LMNOP community. You're right, Elisa. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. What was I at? 10? Nor thieves, nor covetousness, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. Like none of these people shall inherit the kingdom of God. And it's funny how the LGBTQ community inherits most of those traits anyway. Most people in the LGBTQ community are drunkards. Most people in the LGBT community are revelers. They like to revel. Revelers are somebody that likes to be riotous, like to be loud and boisterous and partying. You know what I'm saying? And cause all types of, you know what I'm saying? How may I put it? What's the motto one? Basically, somebody who likes to just be out there causing a lot of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Nor covetous, like they're very covetous. A lot of them are thieves. They're stealing from each other all the time. They coveting what another person has all the time. You know what I'm saying? They do a lot of this stuff. They're lascivious. A lot of this stuff is what the LGBTQ community is about, and they will not enter the kingdom. It's not my word. These are words straight up from the Bible. Straight up from the Bible. Let's go to 1 John 2 and 15. Go to 1 John 2 and 15. Give me a sec, because those 1 John's, oh, I found it. First go. Those just usually pass right by my fingers, man. All right. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. You know what I'm saying? Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Like, I know y'all like to believe God died for the world, but now the world has context, and this world is not talking about the planet. It said, love not the world or the things in this world. What is in this world? A lot of this lust and desires of the homosexual community is accepted and promoted in this world. Is very tolerated in this world. So we are not to love the things that the world loves. The world accepts the LGBTQ community. The world loves the LGBTQ community. The Most High doesn't. The Most High is against them. The Most High is literally not. You do understand I've been in this for a while, right? And I know that Commander General Yohana was not kicked out of the original UPK, because we are the original UPK for one, and he was never kicked out. He was given the school in Harlem. I mean, in Philly. He was given the school and took over the school in Philadelphia. He was never kicked out. In fact, everybody left him. They left the school, broke the school down, and started following some nut who called himself the Comforter, who started a church called the ICGJC. Now, everybody went with the ICGJC because this dude got a lot of money to start up a music company, which he never did, defrauded the government, and ended up in jail, got out of jail, catching COVID in jail and dying. The Lord wasn't with him. But the Lord is with Commander General Yohana. You know why? Because he's undefeated. Nobody has beat the ISUPK in anything. Anything. Those purple dudes try to rap battle us, and guess what? They lost. You can't beat the ISUPK in nothing because the Lord is with us, and he's with Commander General Yohana. He was never kicked out. You obviously don't know your history. You're talking to somebody that was there. So, I don't know what meme you've been looking at, but stop looking at memes. You know what I'm saying? Stop looking at. And it's funny. I heard about that stealing money rumor, and that's not true because the person that they claim he stole money from is his number 2. Is General Muhammad. So how would a man steal from you and you be his number? That doesn't make sense. And rebellious. Man, Saturnian, you obviously a child. You obviously a child that don't know the history and you wasn't there. But try again. Try again. But let's where was I at? 1 John 2:15. Let's read that. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So if you accept the things that this world accepts, and you love the thing that this world accepts, and you out there with your rainbow flag talking about love is love, well, guess what? The love of God is not in you. Because you are loving the thing of this world. The world tolerates and loves and promotes the LGBTQ community. The Lord obviously does not. So you got to pick a side. It's just that simple. You got to pick a side. What side are you on? That's up to you. Let's continue. Verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh. What is in the world? The lust of the flesh. The LGBTQ community is purely about the lust of the flesh. They want to sexually gratify their own body. They want to sexually appease their own bodies. You know what I'm saying? And it's a mental illness on top of that. So let's read that again. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. And the pride of life. You know, they got a whole Pride Month. You know what I'm saying? Yo, which update Bible you reading? I'm not reading no updated Bible. I'm reading the King James Version 1611. This book was translated back in 1611. That means it got all the hidden books in it and everything. That's what I'm reading. Any other questions? Let's get with it. But we got Colleen up in the building. Let me invite them in. We've got a few minutes left in class. See if my brothers want to get up in here. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbarakatha.
Hey, shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabbarakatha. What's good?
Not, not much, Yakon. We out here, you know. Today we having a class in Boston because in Boston we had a protest outside a children's hospital where the LGBTQ community was mad that the children's hospital will not do gender affirming surgeries till a person is at least 18 and they pass mental evaluations and health evaluations. And they mad about that.
I don't know why you would be mad about that when you want to make sure someone's in their right mind before they get the
And not just
extracurricular surgery.
right.
You should do that for sisters who are going to go get them BBLs too, because the BBLs have literally get women killed.
Literally.
BBLs.
Literally.
And women are going to get them by in droves, and they're about to be just another statistic because they feel insecure about their body. I think this hospital is doing a responsible thing by having these requirements. I don't know why people be mad about it.
Very responsible. And a hysterectomy is a very dangerous procedure. And you want them to get rid of their reproductive organs before they're 18? They can't even have sex legally. And you want them to get rid of their reproductive organs for what? They can't use them.
Yeah, that will adversely affect their health for their entire life. The hospital is there to save lives. I don't know. And that's the point. The LGBTQ community doesn't really care about anything other than feelings. And that's the problem with the LGBT, that community, because it makes it so dangerous. Now we're throwing, of course, common decency and things like that right out the window. But now it's getting to the point where you're encouraging children to cut off parts of themselves if they don't feel, accepted or something like that. When I was growing up, it was a very common thing to just be unsure of yourself.
Yeah.
You're going through puberty. You might not be the coolest kid in school. That don't mean you go turn yourself into a woman to try to, But hey, I don't know. But regardless of whatever those people choose to do, I don't think a child should be exposed to that kind of trauma because a child makes a lot of mistakes.
Child makes a hell of a lot of mistakes.
You don't want one of those mistakes to be, permanently disfiguring your body, like that. So I don't know. Just goes to show the LGBTQ community doesn't really care about the child.
They sure don't.
About the agenda.
And that's all they want. They want to recruit. That's all that is. That's a recruiting tactic. You know what I'm saying? That's all they doing. And the Most High is going to have to nip that in the bud. And I have to, at least the Most High is giving these children a chance by letting this hospital give them some time to rethink their actions. Like this, hysterectomies are irreversible.
Right.
They are irreversible. You can't fix that. You're at 18 and before you're 18 and you take out your reproductive organ, guess what? You might change your mind and get your mind right, and now you can't have kids.
Yeah.
Now you can't have kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. It's a and the thing about it is why I don't know why people ignore those very common cases of people who regret and change their minds.
Yeah, they never speak on that.
This it's not a hypothetical what you're saying, Priest. This people really go out, get these surgeries, and then they change their mind and they regret it. They regret the whole thing and they can't go back. And they wish that somebody would have stopped them at a younger age or before they had made the decision.
Exactly, which a responsible parent would do. A responsible parent would stop their child from committing such madness. Like D Wade and what's her face? They're not responsible parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Zion is going to have a whole bunch of issues when he's an adult. I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes a psychopath and killing everything in sight. Because, his parents.
I was just going to back you up. That's another thing that comes with that kind of lifestyle. Violent outbursts, things like that. Tearing up a GameStop,
Yeah.
because they didn't call you your right adjective or whatever pronoun.
Right.
Which doesn't, hey.
Or shooting up an elementary school.
Or shooting up an elementary school.
Remember that?
You're depressed.
exactly. That dude that shot up in Uvalde, you know what I'm saying? It was suspected that he was part of that community. We seen him in cross-dressing attire and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's more of your zone. You know what I'm saying? If you want to speak on that, that's more of your zone. I'm not too informed of it other than a few news articles, but I think he was part of the LGBT community too.
Yeah, I believe he was. From what I've seen. And the thing is, he said he had mental issues. He said he was depressed. And you can look at the recorded stats of LGBTQ members who have mental issues. It's a startling amount of people that need to go to therapy and need to have certain medications so that they can properly go about society. And that just goes to show you that their underlying issue isn't that, they have a penis attached to them or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Or you have ovaries. It's not your problem. The problem is actually something else entirely.
Yo, this sister said Gabrielle Union don't even paint her own nails, but her husband painting his. Yeah, that's
Wayne
yeah, he's straight up part of that community. But
Wayne used to dress in his mother's heels when he was a kid. He said that.
For real.
So he said he used to dress up in his mother's clothes and walk around in her heels when he was a younger child. So it goes to explain a lot of why Zion is moving the way he's moving, doing what he's doing, because it's a learned behavior. It's not,
And that's why it's important for the black man to stay in that household, man, and get those children right, man. Because his father was there to tell him to get those heels off, smack him in the back of the head one good time. Who knows where he'd be today? That's what he'd be.
Man, look, this world doesn't even understand masculinity. They don't look. I don't know. Look, they think you abusing the kid. We talk about, just admonishing him, trying to get him right, man. Do some push-ups. Go stand. Do that invisible chair on the wall for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we call it. Abusing a child. I'm trying to correct you. I'm trying to get you to rethink your decision to stick a fork in an outlet or, cut your member off, whatever the case might be.
Right.
Look, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna have to get up out of here. I'm gonna kick a class off.
Yeah, I'm about to end class over here in Boston. All right, with that, shalom, to the class, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shabbarak Thug, to my brothers, Yahweh Shemal Thug, Hashem, Yahweh Shah, to my sisters. I will be back on here about midnight tonight on TikTok to have a deeper dive into this conversation with so many people who think they know something. So follow me on TikTok, on Rakar Arya on TikTok, and with that, shalom. Ugh.